this space you're in, this world that you're in, is really about managing two emotions, fear and greed. Because fear checks in when you think, oh, it's going down, I'm about to lose. Greed checks in when you're like, haha, I'm about to make that money. So how do you do that? How do you start to make decisions that are really more about just managing the assets and also managing your emotions too? Is it possible to separate, or is it important to tap into those emotions?
It's really important, actually. I think one of the things that my career has helped shape is the discipline of controlling your fear and your greed.
Okay.
Human beings are born with an inborn trait of greed. You steal this deal, you want the next. You make this money, you want more. You get this car, you want a bigger one. So it's a natural trait that we're born with. But that works against you in Forex trading, as well as fear. So what we advise is that the level of discipline required to make money in Forex is very high. Because even when things are looking really good, you shouldn't go beyond your limit of how much you're risking per trade. And that's a discipline that's required in Forex. And therefore, and your fear, again, when a trade is losing, don't panic into it and you're watching your money go down, but you have a limit, because the beauty of Forex is that it gives you a platform to control and put a limit as to how much you can lose at any one trade. And therefore, it gives you that. All those parameters are there. You limit a percentage of how much you can lose in every single trade. So no matter whether you're online or not, you're covered. You already put your limit. So you know in your mind that if this trade goes against me, I'm not going to lose more than 2%. And in my mind, I know if this trade works for me, I'm going to make 6%, which is 3 times of 2%. Risk reward. Reward.
Wow.
So these are some of the elements that we teach people. But again, the issue of fear and greed, that is something that you have to master. It's a psychological thing. And so apart from the making money part of the business, it also helps you grow as a human being to really learn how to control your fear and your greed.
Right. Yeah. You've talked about making money a few times now. Can you make good money off of Forex trading and sort of almost just survive off of that, of the money that's coming in? Can people do that, or is it?
People can make money.
Is it only for the rich, or how does it work?
Well, the thing is, to be really honest, you need money to make some money. But the idea and the fallacy out there that a lot of people have, they think that, you're gonna jump into Forex and tomorrow you're making a killing. The realistic part is that Forex is a business like any other, and that's how we approach it. And in our course, we teach people the limits of how much you can risk per trade. And therefore, you can make it a full-time business consistently, monthly, month to month. But of course, you need a little bit of a significant amount of capital to use to make that money. Same way you have, money that you trade in the NSE. So, and the shares make prices of a little bit of exchange. So you need a significant capital, a little bit of a significant capital. That is, if you want to make it full-time, a full-time career. But yes, I've lived off it. 11 years later, I've lived off it. I live off it. We started the company off it. I was able to drive here off it. So it's purely, you can make a living purely out of
that.
it. Yes.
So earlier we were talking about there's two kinds of brokers. The one where you, dealing and the non-dealing. So let's talk about the dealing brokers, right? Because I'm sure there's people who are curious about this, but they're not going to study and go to. By the way, did you study Forex trading at all? Did you have to take a course or anything?
I have done several courses. Online mostly.
Online. So there are people who are like, I'm really not that invested. So help me find a dealer. What do you look for when you're trying to find a dealing broker?
A dealing broker.
In this
actually.
Business?
There's a lot of fraudulers out there, even dealing and also non-dealing. And one of the ways to check for a legitimate broker is to, every country has its list of legitimate brokers. Like if you Google legitimate non-dealing brokers in Kenya you're gonna get, but unfortunately we don't have one. We don't have a dealing broker in Kenya yet.
Okay.
But we have 2 non-dealing brokers.
Okay.
So it's a bit unfortunate, but there are other international dealing brokers out there that you can always access. But the number one thing you always need to do is check which country the broker is, and then check the list, whether they're in the list of the licensed brokers in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this case, if we don't have that list, are there still people who are dealing brokers? People or dealing,
Traders
brokers,
trading on behalf of?
Yeah.
I think what you...
Or what's, I mean, I guess my question is, just because they're not on a list, does it mean that they do not exist, or are there people who are still dealing brokers, but they're just not certified?
Yeah. I think I get you right, because what you're asking is whether there are people who trade on behalf of people.
Yes, right.
No, that's a good thing, because in Kenya, the Capital Markets Authority, CMA, came up with regulations about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so there are laws. There's a law governing if I want to trade on behalf of people. There's a law governing that. I need a license with the Capital Markets Authority. And so this license, of course, is documentation, and there's a whole process you go through to acquire the license. And when you have the license, then the law allows you to trade on behalf of people. And therefore, it's a license people out there can get. That is, if you're knowledgeable and you have years of experience and you can honestly grow money for people, then you can go for the license.
Right. So is that something that you offer as well?
We are working on getting the license. We haven't gotten the license yet. So right now, we're just basically measuring with training. Training people to empower themselves, to trade on behalf of themselves. But we're working on getting the license as well.
Right. Yeah. Would you advise even the customers who are going to these traders, would you advise that they also do some kind of research, or have some kind of understanding about the industry and the market?
Definitely.
Or is it okay to just hand your money over?
No. It's always good to understand the industry where you're putting your money. So I would advise people to do their own research. Just check around. But now the disadvantage with that is that there's a lot of clustered information about forex trading when you go online. And so I think the thing it's a policy I actually have. I love going to the professional. If I want to invest in NSE, I want an NSE professional. So if you want to invest in Forex, get a Forex professional to get you through. If you want to see a doc, get a proper doctor. Like, I believe in, following professionalism, and therefore I think it's good for people to get adequate information of where they want to put their money. Yeah.
So what's the minimum amount of money that one can start trading?
That's a good question. The minimum, different brokers have different limits, but it varies between $100 to $200. You can start off with $100 or $200. You're good to start off.
Okay, and so I know it's hard to give me an exact figure, but on average, what are the kind of returns that one can expect, or losses as well, in a 3-month period, 6-month period, 1 year?
Wow, that's a tricky one, as you say. But to be really honest, I can only give ranges, and this depends on a quarter or a month might be different, just like any other business. This month the market might have been a bit slow and less of opportunities. Next month there might be more opportunities. But let's say in a month, if you're good and you're good at controlling your risk and you're good at what you do, then you can make anything between 2 to 6%. 2 to 6%.
It's interesting. As I was doing my research, preparing for this show, I came across a story about a company that was offering, I think their minimum buy-in was like 100,000, and they were promising 20% every month. But then you have to lock your money in for 3 months, and of course, it seemed to be some kind of Ponzi scheme, because you also you could get 5% off the next person you bring in, and so how do you know when things? And that sounds good, 20% in like every month. It just sounds like
a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Anybody who promises you exorbitant rates, I don't know, 20% per month, 5% per month, it doesn't work.
Right.
You know why? Because next month, I don't know how much I'm gonna make, but I'm gonna make some money. So how can I come tell people that I'm gonna offer you 10%? It's a business like any other. And if I'm promising you this much returns, then it means I'm also going to risk this much of your money, and the risk of ruin is very high. And therefore, what we teach is a conservative risk approach. That's why our levels are a bit low. I'm talking about 2% per month, 3%, 4%, 5% on a good month. And therefore, how can I offer you 5% if that's what I'm making, or I'm making 2%?
Right.
That means I'll be risking a lot, a bit higher than the threshold that I'm supposed to risk.
Right.
And therefore, I tell people, you know, as we started by saying, you know, greed, there's this greed in us, and it's okay because it kind of pushes you to go for the next deal and the next one, but you have to be as realistic as possible.
Right.
It's a business.
Right.
There's no way you're gonna make, you know, $1 million overnight or by a week, or someone is gonna promise you 20%. Let me tell you, if I was doing a business that I'm making 20% per month, I would have no business looking for people's money. But as I said, it's a business like any other. People need to be realistic about it. And therefore, if especially you take it as a business as we do, and for the long term, then you have to be disciplined about it.
Right.
And you can make that much.
Okay. Yeah. So what are the questions that one should ask their trader so as to make sure they're not being scammed?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of questions would you then advise clients?
Yeah.
This is what you need to know.
I think it's a good thing that the government came into the industry to regulate it in the first place, and therefore it's very clear. If I'm proclaiming that I'm a trader, then I need to show you my license. And after I show you my license, you can confirm with Capital Markets Authority that I'm actually licensed to trade on your behalf.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Then the other thing is ask them for their FX books. That is their statements. Their statements. Get to verify.
They will give?
Well, if they are genuine enough, they're gonna give, and then of course you're gonna see the company, and then you can verify that. But verify the company itself, the broker. Itself. Yeah. Okay. But the surest way is to ask for the license from CMA.
Okay.
Yeah. If they're licensed, then is a genuine company.
Okay.
And I think I know of one company so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. People need to be aware of the industry. A lot of people going out there purporting, I'm a Forex trader, I can make you 10% per month, I can make you the other. IPT, I hear all these stories, and I feel for them. But you can learn by yourself. Do it. Why not learn? Do it by yourself.
I guess. I mean, I think you said it earlier. I think anywhere where you're investing your money, you need to know
exactly
what's happening, and not just be like, I'll just give my money $100, $200, and we'll see what happens. You're right.